Welcome everybody to the New Fly Fisher. In today's show, we're examining one of the most underutilized resources available to fly fishers, urban fishing. In cities large and small across Canada and the United States, there exists excellent fishing opportunities for a multitude of species. Come join me and some of my friends as we fly fish for smallmouth bass in downtown Ottawa and discuss locations, species, and tactics. It's going to be a great show. Stay with us. The New Fly Fisher is sponsored by Bank of Montreal Atlantic Salmon Federation MasterCard, Ducks Unlimited, Canada's conservation company, Teton Fly Reels. Ottawa is like many urban areas in that it possesses access to water systems, both lake and river. My friends and I are starting the day fishing on the Ottawa River near the city water filtration plant. Ottawa, which is located some 4.5 hours from Toronto, has a total area population of approximately 1 million people. Though not known as a fishing destination, it has become very popular in recent years for certain anglers, especially those in search of a world record muskie. The key is that Ottawa has easy access to a number of fine fishing locations. Let's join Brenda Sharp as she talks about urban fly fishing.
We do a lot of fishing in the city, and that's largely because I don't actually own a car. And every time I want to go fishing anywhere outside of the city, I have to get a ride with someone. So I usually try to find a place where I can get me and a fly rod and a small amount of gear by bus, and this is one of those places. And there's also several other places not too far from where I live in Centertown in Ottawa. And so partly it's just for convenience, and partly just because it is fun. It's kind of fun to be out someplace and have people walking along and watching you and asking you what you're doing. I enjoy answering questions when people ask me, why are you doing that? And they seem very surprised when they see someone fly fishing. They associate it with wilderness, and they seem quite surprised that someone can do it in the city.
Where we are now is only a 10-minute drive from downtown Ottawa, and it's very accessible. There's a parking lot within a 5-minute walk from here. And quite often I'll come here with Colin and or other buddies after a long, hard day's work, and particularly in the summertime when the weather's very hot and humid and it feels good, often to wet wade. I'm not wet wading today, but usually we'll wear a pair of nylon shorts and either wading sandals or tivas or something.
Besides fly fishing, many urban settings afford you the opportunity to do other outdoor activities such as bird watching, canoeing, kayaking, or even just having a family picnic. The key is that you don't need to necessarily drive 4 hours in order to enjoy the outdoors. Downtown settings are often excellent locations for fishing, simply because no one else would think to try it. Everyone is generally of the belief that you need to get outside of urban areas in order to find great fishing. This is simply not true.
There are many different techniques to retrieving flies when bass fishing, and they vary from a steady, even retrieve of a few inches to up to a foot per pull, sometimes varying it either quickly, slowly, or erratically. For example, the first retrieve might be a very short one, followed by maybe 2 long ones, then a couple of short ones. And the effect that we're looking for here is to give a very erratic motion to the fly so that the fish gets the idea that this insect or this bait fish or whatever we're imitating is in trouble or is maybe injured or not behaving in a normal fashion, and that it's possibly a good source of food or prey. In this case, this morning, the one fish that we've hooked so far was taken on a slow retrieve. That I don't know what the significance of that is, other than to say that in this particular year, the water has been fairly high. We've had a lot of rains this summer. There's been a lot of food. Food is not really in short supply. There's a lot of deep water for the fish to hold in. And consequently, it's been a little bit more difficult, or you've had to work a little more to get the fish that we have been hooking. In past years, in some of the areas that we've gone to, it's been no trouble at all between 2 people to hook in a couple of hours fishing after work, maybe 40 or 50 fish. That's not been the case for me personally this year, and certainly it hasn't been so far this morning. One of the things that I cottoned onto or found out this summer in this time of fairly high water and abundant food source and fairly deep water, so that there are lots of hiding spots for the fish. One of the ways to improve success, particularly for buddies that I've been fishing with, has been to pinch on either a split shot, a small split shot about 6 inches, anywhere from 6 inches to 18 inches above the leader, above the fly, sorry. In this case, I've been fishing with a different vest, so I found a little bit of twist-on lead, which is a matchbook of thin strips of lead. You just simply tear a piece off and twist it onto your line, and it has the same effect or the same desired properties as a piece of split shot. It makes it a little bit more difficult to cast, so it's not a favorite of mine unless I need to get down, but I find that in these late summer conditions, abundant food being around, lots of deep hiding spots, putting a fly right in front of a bass's face gets more strikes. That's kind of a technique that you use later on for salmon fishing in some of the tributaries of Lake Ontario. So let's give this a try and see if we can improve our odds a bit. When you've got so much lead on unless you've got a fairly heavyweight rod, something like an 8, 9, or 10, it pays with that much lead or a heavy fly on to slow your cast right down and have large open loops and really wait for the line to straighten out before you stroke forward again. That'll stop the inevitable tangles or flailing of the water that can happen with this kind of a technique.
I'm using a fly today called a Howard fly. It was a streamer that's invented by a friend of mine named Howard, who originally was from Alabama, and he invented it for bass, but he uses it a lot for trout now. It's kind of wet and bedraggled looking right now, and it's a nice bait fish imitation, or it can look a little bit like a crayfish in the water. And I find that the bass around here used to really like it, so I'm hoping they'll like it again. It's got a bead head and a little dubbed body, and it has a little gold body under a wing and a little bit of yellow for an attraction.
For smallmouth bass, some of the flies we use today include the foam popper, Taps bug, beethead March brown bugger, and the chili pepper. For the pattern recipes for these flies and for more information about our series, please visit us on the World Wide Web at www.thenewflyfisher.com.
Well, we've changed position. We're still on the Ottawa River, but we're a little further away at the Champlain Bridge. We're still fishing for smallmouth bass, although I understand there are muskie supposed to be around here as well. A little further down the Ottawa, we might run into some carp and some gar pike. Not that we're necessarily fishing for them, but they might be there. On the Rideau and other rivers around here, you can also expect to see pike and possibly even walleye or pickerel. There are really a lot of different panfish, and many of them are very good on a fly. So we should be able to find something, I hope.
Examples of some of the excellent urban areas that provide access to good fishing are Victoria. The sea provides a bountiful number of species to angle for. Species include salmon, trout, lingcod, and sole. Good saltwater fishing locations throughout Victoria include Petter Bay, William Head, Oak Bay, Beachy Head, and 10 Mile Point. For freshwater angling, try cutthroat on the Sook River. Of the over 30 lakes in the district, the elk is probably the most popular for rainbows and cutthroat. Edmonton is ideally located on the banks of the North Saskatchewan River. This city of over 600,000 people have access to species such as northern pike, walleye, goldeye, and yellow perch. Good access points for fly fishers include White Mud Park, Emily Murphy Park, Gold Bar Park, and below Rossdale Water Treatment Plant. The huge metropolitan city of Toronto has access to some incredible fishing. A wide range of fish are available, such as northern pike, salmon, bass, trout, and carp. Good locations include the Credit River, Arundel Park, Bronte River, Duffin and Black Creek, and of course the shoreline of Lake Ontario itself. Toronto Island is noted for good wading and casting locations for big northern pike and carp. The capital of Canada is lucky to have a wide range of fishing opportunities within the city. Species include muskie, carp, bass, walleye, and brown trout. Good locations include the Rideau River, Dow Lake, Carp River, and on the mighty Ottawa River, there's the Champlain Bridge, Remix Rapids, and the Britannia Water Filtration Plant. The beautiful city of Montreal is intersected by a number of lakes and rivers. Anglers can fish for northern pike, muskie, rainbow trout, shad, brown trout, and bass. There's quite a few good places to fish, though anglers must be wary of the power and strength of both the Ottawa and St. Lawrence rivers. Good locations throughout Montreal include the Lachine Rapids, tailwaters below dams, Lake St. Louis, Lake of Two Mountains, and the Thousand Island River. The Thousand Island River is known for big muskies and huge bass. The twin cities of Halifax and Dartmouth provide some excellent salt and freshwater fly fishing opportunities. Dartmouth is known as the city of lakes, and anglers can find species such as smallmouth bass, brook and rainbow trout, as well as landlocked salmon in one of the 11 lakes in this city. In Grand Lake, you can cast for huge striped bass, and on the shorefront of Halifax, you can angle for mackerel and pollock. Good locations include Albro, Charles, Bannock, and Penhor Lakes, the Sackville River, and almost any pier in the city core. These fishing locations are but a few of those available in urban areas. To find more information in your city, check with local fly shops, fly fishing clubs, and governmental natural resources or fishery offices. Remember, many of the rivers that meander through cities are very deep and powerful. Anglers should seek advice on wading and the use of float tubes or pontoon boats on waters they are not familiar with. Safety is always paramount.
This is good water generally in the evening for topwater work. Yellow flies work particularly well. the bass seem to take them at various points during a presentation. They may take a popper when it just lands. They may take it as it drifts. They may take it if you give it a lot of action. They may take it if you give it no action at all. They may take it just as it swings at the end of your drift. So sometimes they take it on the swing, and sometimes they take it after it's sort of hanging there for a while. So there's all kinds of different presentations work with topwater stuff. I find that I prefer the slider or diver type floating bugs to cup-faced or flat-faced poppers. I think they're a little quieter, a little more action in the water, and a little more resemble natural food.
Like angling conditions outside of the city, often the trigger needed to incite strikes is a good hatch or the fall of the sun below the tree line. As in all fishing, flexibility and the ability to adapt quickly to current conditions will greatly enhance angler success rates.
That's a good one. This is what we're here for. Play him off the reel? How do I get him on the reel? Oh, there he goes. Get him on the reel, quick. You're almost there. Okay. Yeah, on the top. Yellow feet. You're on the reel. I'm using a 6-weight here, so he's able to really bend in this rod. Got a 2x tip on it. Yeah, nice one. It's gonna be 16 inches, looks like. Between the legs. Now that is why you can go urban fly fishing and catch nice fish. You don't have to drive hours and hours. We're right here. Look at that. Well, it looks like they're back onto the surface again.
it got off. Oh well. Easy come, easy go. When angling for species like smallmouth bass or panfish, it is not uncommon for anglers to experience the thrill of double and even triple headers. When the bite is on, it can be quite exciting. As you can see, there's some great opportunities for fly fishers in urban areas. You don't have to travel that far, and you really might find that you've got some great fishing right at your doorstep. Next time you're out walking around the city, take your fly rod. It's the end of the day here. I think we're going to go get some pizza. From all of us here at the New Fly Fisher, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. The New Fly Fisher is sponsored by Bank of Montreal Atlantic Salmon Federation MasterCard, Ducks Unlimited, Canada's conservation company, Teton Fly Reels.